Hey everyone, thank you so much for clicking on this video. The fact that you are willing to sacrifice a few minutes out of your day to consume my content really does mean the world to me. Today we're going to be doing another Doctor Who reaction video. So today we're going to be reacting to 73 Yards, which was episode 4 or 5, depending on whether you count the Christmas specials, because different people seem to be considering it differently. And it's episode 4 or 5 of season 1 or 14, depending on who you ask as well. But this was a very, very interesting episode. And I'm very excited to let you guys know my thoughts, but I also want to know your thoughts as well. So comment down below and let's get this discussion going. Of course, what made this episode the most interesting is the fact that this is pretty much a doctorless episode. And these episodes are either massive hits or massive misses. I mean, the perfect example of this is, of course, Love and Monsters, which was terrible. And then, of course, Blink, which is one of the greatest Doctor Who episodes ever. So it's always a massive gamble when we have these doctorless episodes, and I understand why they do them. I mean, when you have incredibly popular actors like David Tennant or Ncuti Gatwa, they have a lot of other commitments. So filming episodes like this definitely does give the Doctor Who team the ability to use the Doctor more sparingly and come up with more creative episodes like this. So was this a Love and Monsters tier or was this a Blink tier? In my honest opinion, this one landed right in the middle. So we focus on Ruby Sunday by Millie Gibson. I think she was phenomenal. I've been loving her as a companion, and we got to see a lot more of her unique relationship with the Doctor. I've always compared her to Rose Tyler. I feel like she has a very similar personality and relationship, especially with Christopher Eccleston's version of the Doctor. She does a great job as a audience surrogate, learning more about the Doctor and this world, especially with the softcore reboots we've been given. But in this episode, we really got to see the fact that she actually doesn't really know much about the Doctor. She's only been with him on 4 episodes so far. So to have her be removed from the Doctor so early on was a very interesting choice, but I think it was a good decision because ultimately we've been put in this position where we can understand why she would feel so nervous. I mean, she's only just learning about this fantastical world and suddenly everything is turned upside down. We understand why she makes the decisions that she makes. But at the same time, I feel like it was a weird decision to not include the Doctor so early on because, I mean, it's episode 4/5. We haven't had that much time to really spend with Ncuti Gatwa's Doctor yet, and I want to know more about him and his personality. But what I really enjoyed about this episode specifically was the step back from science fiction and more into the supernatural/fantasy elements. I mean, for all intents and purposes, this is a haunting episode. This is an episode about Ruby Sunday's character getting haunted. It's a hectic one, and honestly, the first 2/3 of this episode are great. I was so invested. I mean, I've been loving Doctor Who recently, and in fact, I think Boom and this episode are the 2 best episodes of the season so far. I've been loving them, and the first 2/3 were fantastic. They were great. I was on the edge of my seat. The suspense was crazy, and unfortunately, I just feel like the payoff didn't deliver. I didn't expect the twist. I'll be honest with you. The twist we ended up getting took me by surprise. I was like, damn, I wasn't expecting that. But did I like it? Not so much. And I feel like unless I completely missed some points in the episode, I feel like there are some serious plot holes that exist right now. And I don't want to break them down, but there are plot holes. And they, depending on how deep you want to get, I feel like there might even be the possibility of some paradoxes happening because of this. So I'd love to know what you guys think in that regard, because again, great build-up, but the last act felt so rushed as well. And that was my biggest letdown. This genuinely felt like it could have been a 2-parter. If we spent the first 2 acts in episode 1, and then we kind of just expanded the 3rd act and looked at the political campaign and how that was going to impact, the world, that would have been a lot more interesting. And I will say, this has probably been the most political episode of the season so far. I mean, we're basically following the Prime Minister as he, goes on his run. And, I mean, and that's what I'm saying. Like, the episode really just deviated. The first 2 acts is this really personal story between Ruby and the figure haunting her. It's quite an intimate setting. Then all of a sudden, we jump into the future and it becomes a political narrative. And that's where it just lost me. So yes, guys, I genuinely believe this sits right in the middle of Love and Monsters and Blink. I think, you know, this episode did a great job with what it had. It just really didn't stick the landing. And I was a little bit disappointed that we got a Doctor-less episode so soon into, you know, Ncuti Gatwa's run. But for what this episode was, I did enjoy it. I enjoyed the new twist. I enjoyed the fact that the show is dipping its toes into the supernatural. And I'm very excited for what's coming next. So if you guys did enjoy this video, please give me a thumbs up. Do not be afraid to subscribe to the YouTube channel if you want more Doctor Who reviews. I've got all of my reviews to previous episodes down below. But you guys are the best. Thank you so much for watching. And I hope to see you guys again in another video.